Hey there, and welcome. Today, we're diving into a super important part of English conversation, reported speech. We are going to break down this thing called the Backshift rule so you can tell stories and share what people say, clearly and correctly. Let's get right into it.
So, have you ever been in this situation? A friend tells you something really exciting, and when you go to tell someone else, you just freeze. You're thinking, he said he is coming or was coming? It is a super common sticking point for English learners, but don't worry, there is a really straightforward solution.
And that solution is called reported speech, or sometimes you'll hear it called indirect speech. All it is relaying a message. So instead of quoting someone word for word with the quotation marks and everything, you're just sharing the idea of what they said. Honestly, getting this down is a total game changer for sounding fluent.
Okay, let's look at it in action. In direct speech, you use their exact words. I am going. Simple. But in indirect speech, it changes to she said she was going. See that? That tiny but absolutely crucial change from am to was? That's pretty much the heart of what we're going to talk about today.
So that little jump from the present to the past? Well, it has a name, the Backshift rule. This, right here, is the secret weapon to sounding natural and accurate when you're retelling conversations in English.
So here it is, the golden rule. Whenever your reporting verb, words like said, told, or thought, is in the past tense, you just take the original verb and shift it one step back in time. It's basically like a little time machine for your grammar.
And this whole time machine idea is actually pretty simple. If the original words are in the present tense, boom, you step back to the simple past. If the words were already in the past, you take one more step back into what's called the past perfect. You're always just moving one step further into the past. Okay, so we've got the main idea down. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty of this grammar time travel. Because it's not just the main verbs that have to shift, a few other words have to come along for the ride too.
This table right here is your new best friend, a great little cheat sheet. Simple present becomes simple past. So I am happy becomes he said he was happy. Present continuous becomes past continuous. We are going becomes they said they were going. And here's an interesting one. Notice how both simple past and present perfect both take a step back to the same place, the past perfect. It's kind of like the final destination in the past.
Let's look at one that seems a little more complex. The direct speech is they have been talking. When we report it, we just backshift it to the past perfect continuous. I thought they had been talking. See the pattern? It's really consistent. The have just becomes had.
But wait, there's more. It's not just the main verbs. Those helpful little words we call modal verbs, like will, can, and may, they also have to take that step back in time. And these are some of the most common ones you'll use every single day. Will becomes would, can turns into could, and may shifts to might.
And here's what that looks like. Direct speech, I will do it. Reported speech, she said she would do it. See? Simple and clean. It just flows.
Okay, this next part is super important. Since your verbs have traveled to the past, your time and place words have to go with them to keep the story making sense. You have to shift the whole perspective. This means now becomes then, today becomes that day, and here becomes there. It's all about matching the context of when you are actually reporting the information.
Here's a perfect example of that. Let's say someone says, we are going to stay here. But when you tell your friend about it later, maybe from a different location, it becomes, they said they were going to stay there. The location word just shifts right along with the verb to make sense. It has to.
All right, you have totally got the main backshift rule down now. But like with any good grammar rule in English, there are always a couple of special cases we need to look at. So let's talk about how to report commands and things that are, always true.
So when someone gives a command like open the window, we actually don't use the backshift at all. Instead, we use this really simple three-step formula. First, you pick a verb like told or asked. Then you say who got the command. And finally, this is the key, you just use the infinitive form of the verb. That's just to plus the verb. It's a whole different structure, but it's super easy.
And the great thing is, this structure works perfectly for both positive and negative commands. For a positive one, you use the infinitive. He asked me to close the door. For a negative command, like don't do that, you just slide the word not in front of the infinitive. We told you not to do that. It's a really simple and reliable pattern.
And now for the big one, the major exception. This is the one time you get to just joyfully ignore the backshift rule. If a statement is a universal truth, a scientific fact, or just something that is still true right now, you don't need to change the tense.
Here's the classic example. If someone says, the Earth is round, you report it as, he said that the Earth is round. You don't say was round because, well, the Earth is still round. The fact hasn't changed, so the verb doesn't change either. It stays in the present.
Okay, wow, we have covered a lot of ground. You are now officially equipped with the main tools for using reported speech like a pro. So let's just do a quick-fire recap of the most important takeaways.
So, here's your toolkit. Number 1, the backshift is your key. Always think, take one step back in time. Number 2, remember to shift everything, the main verb, the modals, and the time and place words. 3, for commands, it's to plus verb or not to plus verb. And finally, number 4, if it's a fact that's still true, no backshift needed. That's really it.
So now you have this amazing skill to naturally and accurately retell conversations, share stories, and report what's going on. It's an absolutely essential skill for fluency. So I'll just leave you with this question: whose story will you share today? Thanks so much for watching.